Ukrainians near the nuclear plant that was shelled by advancing Russian forces are now fleeing west by the thousands. So many are trying to get out. They are overwhelming the transport system. CNN's Sam Kiley is on the ground in nearby Dnipro, Ukraine.
A collective breath is held as a long-awaited evacuation train slows to a halt. The odds of getting out determined by access to a carriage door. Police struggle to contain the crowd. All are desperate to flee west. The mass evacuation from Zaporizhia is part driven by the recent capture of a nuclear power station by Russian invaders. Here they're being begged by the control room over a public address system to stop their attack on the 6-reactor plant, the biggest in Europe. They say, "You are endangering the security of the entire world. Attention, stop shooting at a nuclear hazardous facility. Attention, stop it." There is now a disregard as much for nuclear safety as civilian lives in cities across the country being bombarded by Russia. Scenes like this have not been seen in Europe since the Second World War in the 20th century. The mass evacuation of civilians from a major city. It's been accelerated here because the people now believe, based on the evidence that they've seen elsewhere in Ukraine, that it is civilians who are now going to be targeted in Vladimir Putin's invasion.
When Russian troops came closer to Zaporizhia, I decided it was better to get my family out before they entered the city itself.
We hope that we can make it on the train today, because this morning people didn't let us in, even though we have a baby.
This is a war that separates lovers and parts husbands from their wives, fathers from their families. Ukrainian men here between 18 and 60 cannot leave. They're needed for the fight. You're staying here?
Yes, yes.
So this is goodbye, temporarily. Well, I hope in a week or two you can be back together again.
Дай Бог.
More than 1 million Ukrainians have fled their homeland so far, but more still are enduring these freezing conditions in the hope of a train to safety. But Mykola Timchishin, who's 80, is staying on. He's a former paratrooper in the Soviet army.
I made Molotov cocktails. I have great rifles. I'm a hunter with 40 years of experience. I have a medal left from the USSR. I'm staying. I hate them. All the invaders because of this. Not to mention the fact that my grandson was bombed for a week in Kharkiv.
Those people who make it on board now face a 600-mile journey to Lviv. For those who don't, time and luck may be running out. Now, John and Brianna, one of the problems for civilians in this country, as we just heard from Matthew Chance, is that these random attacks on cities. There are other cities such as Mariupol, Kiev, Kharkiv that are in danger. In the case of Mariupol, completely surrounded. The other two in danger of being surrounded. Terrific amount of effort being made by the governments of the world to try to get humanitarian corridors organized so that civilians can get out. Then out of the blue, the Russians announced that they would allow civilians out, but only into Russian territory. A suggestion that's been rejected outright by Ukrainians as a pretty cynical move. And I have to say, it's very much part of the Russian playbook. We've seen that in conflicts elsewhere. They use those periods of humanitarian ceasefires to regroup their military, and in this case, actually march civilians through areas where they are under pressure militarily. Brianna?
Use them as shields. Sam, thank you so much for that great report. Tough to watch, so important, though. This morning, the Russian military says it's holding fire so that civilians can't evacuate in 4 cities. That's what it's saying. But Ukraine is pushing back. It says that those cities are still being bombed. Many of those civilians are given no choice but to head to Russia, as Sam was just explaining, through Belarus. The International Committee of the Red Cross tweeted yesterday, quote, "People are living in terror in Mariupol, desperate for safety. Today's attempt to start evacuating an estimated 200,000 people has failed. The failed attempts underscore the absence of a detailed and functioning agreement between parties to the conflict." And joining me now is a spokeswoman and communication coordinator for the International Committee of the Red Cross, Mirella Hodib. Can you just tell us what it is like right now, what people in Mariupol are enduring, and what they're up against when they're trying to leave?
Thank you, Brianna. The situation in Mariupol is desperate. People have now are in their 10th day without water, without electricity, living in shelters. Shelters are packed. The essentials are missing. A lot of healthcare needs as well. And people need to have a safe passage to leave Mariupol and any other location where hostilities are active. The ICRC is willing to facilitate those passages, provided that parties agree on the terms, on specific, actionable, and concrete terms, including locations, times, civilians who wish to leave voluntarily, but also whether any humanitarian can be brought in while civilians who choose to leave are leaving.
So what does Russia need to do here, really? What do they need to agree to so that civilians are not killed as they escape? Because what Russia's proposing right now is just not realistic.
We're speaking to both parties. We're facilitating the dialogue between them so that these safe passages have the necessary guarantees for civilians to leave while it's safe for them to leave. And the ICRC is ready to accompany those civilians leaving, those convoys, provided that parties agree amongst each other. The ICRC cannot be a guarantor for any ceasefire or security related to those safe passages.
So, Mirella, there are reports right now of Russia putting mines along the escape routes in Mariupol. Is there evidence of that?
We haven't seen, we're in discussion with both parties. For the time being, of course, there is violence everywhere, hostilities are everywhere, so we really need to be very clear on the routings these convoys will take so that civilians can leave places where the hostilities are very active, like in Mariupol and other places, and that they are safe doing that. So safe passage is mandatory under international humanitarian law, and both parties would need to agree on providing safe passage to civilians leaving those areas.
All right, Mirella, thank you so much. We do appreciate you being with us as we're talking about what civilians are enduring there to escape.